Here I'm just trying to see where I'm going next on this recreational climb. I'd already gone up behind me a little bit, and so I had just come back from a fairly long limb walk, and now I'm trying to see where I'm going to go next. Once I get down to these next two branches, I'll start moving around, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some limb walking options that you might want to try out if you haven't ever done it in these fashions. And I'm also going to use the captain hook a little bit. So those are a couple of things that I do on a regular basis. Use limb walking techniques to make SRS limb walking a little bit easier, and also use my captain hook to traverse and climb up these longer limb walks that are kind of steep. And that's what I'm going to deal with in this tree right here. Plus there's a lot of foliage. I can't trim any of this because it's not my tree and I'm not doing the pruning work for it. It's a public park, and so I'm trying not to get this smaller foliage out of my way, which also makes it slick if you step on it.
Oh. So that could have definitely been a little bit more fluid, no doubt. This thing's so thick, really needs, I mean, if I was pruning it, I could get through there and cut all that stuff and whatnot, but I don't want to be leaving a ton of mess down on the ground because they don't like it when I do that. So I try to clean up what I cut or what I break. But I could easily step through here, get out there, get to that next branch, and then I would almost be in that next tree, honestly. And honestly, I don't have enough tail because I didn't really plan for that kind of movement. So I'm trying not to get too far out of scope of what I can do. So now I've got my line here. I can do this. It's probably not going to damage the tree enough to be worth a problem, as you can tell. But I could also throw on a, what's it called here? A loop run, I mean, adjustable friction saver right here and make that happen as well. So that would be an option. Another option is if I was in dire straits, I could actually run my tail of my line, get off my lanyard altogether, run my tail of my line around it, and then move over that way as well, and repel back with the tail of my line running as a moving rope system. You always run, like on this is fairly small, fairly new, you run a risk of damaging it a little bit, so I try not to do that. You could also swap over, for instance, like this. Give me some slack there, move this over, go around like, oh. You know, you can always just go back to your own carabiner as well. It's going to give you an awkward pull to the side of your saddle, like so. But see that would work as well. Now it's on that side, you're able to manage it a little bit and you can walk it back. When I'm doing limb walks of some sort back on an SRS, you don't have to, I don't always, but if I'm not in a rush, I like to throw a 3-to-1 on there, and it allows you to pull more evenly, kind of like it was a moving rope system for your walk back. And it just seems to work a little bit more concisely. Just don't lose your tail in the process or you'll be kind of in trouble. So trying to get you guys established here. Going to try to show you how I'm doing this. So it's just establishing there. You know, this is going to be something like more noobs are going to do, because once you get experience, you can walk down this faster. Always keep an eye on the foliage you might be stepping on, because if you're stepping on foliage, there's a good chance it's going to be slick, especially this spring time of year when they're really heavy with water and sugars, just making lots of carbohydrates and sugars using lots of water. And this is why I like long lanyards. This one's 18 feet. So I have, you know, 9-ish feet or so of doubled rope capacity here. And then here I am. I'm in my Union